Today we're talking about the Praxis Core, sometimes referred to as the Praxis I. A lot of people have questions about this exam. I'm here to answer them. I am an expert on this test and other teacher certification exams. My name's Kathleen Jasper. Let's get started. If you are a prospective teacher, maybe you're already in the classroom and you're trying to get your certification, you will most likely have to take the Praxis Core or a test like it. Now, some states have gotten rid of it based on your test scores on the ACT or SAT, but basically the Praxis Core and other tests like it, the general education in Florida and other exams like this, they assess your basic skills. This is considered a basic skills exam. And you might say, well, that's kind of crazy because I took this test and it's pretty hard. It is. The Praxis Core and tests like it are like the ACT or SAT. You're going to be assessed on reading comprehension. So you're going to have to read short, long, and double passages and determine meaning and answer questions. You will have a grammar section where you have to understand, the semicolon, the colon, commas, some rules you may not have thought about in a long time. And there's usually also a writing component in the grammar section where you have to write one or more essays, argumentative, source-based essays, things like that. And then the math section, which is just straight up doing math. The math goes up to about 10th grade math, and it's tough. It's not easy, especially if you've been working in a job where you're not using some of those math skills that you learned in high school, right? So this can be a tough exam. It's sometimes referred to as the Praxis I because teachers typically took this exam first when they were in the traditional route of the College of Education. This exam typically, not in all states, but typically was used to accept students into the College of Education. If you could pass the Praxis Core, it means you had the basic skills to be an educator. Now, again, in this exam, the skills assessed are those that we expect our high school 10th graders to have accomplished by 10th grade. In fact, most of this exam is what you will see on a lot of exams that we use for students in order to graduate high school. So it is the position of a lot of states that they want their teachers to have that same level of competency when it comes to grammar and writing, reading comprehension, and mathematics. Now, that being said, most people need to brush up on this. Most people can't just walk in and take the Praxis Core after they haven't taken a test in a long time. Many of you are career changers. You've been working in a different job for a while. Maybe you've graduated college a few years ago. You haven't taken a math test in 5, 10, 15, 20, some of us 30 years. And so it's important that we practice this. Now, it is a big exam. There are 3 full subtests in this exam. Now, there is another Praxis Core where they put it all in one test, but it's still the same. It's 3 major sections. The first section is reading, the 5713. They have small passages, which are paragraphs, double passages, which could be 1 paragraph for passage A, 1 paragraph for passage B, or longer. It could be several passages for passage A and several passages for passage B. There are charts and graphs and infographics that you'll have to read. And it's informational text, literary text, all different types of text. You will then have to answer comprehension questions. Some of them have to do with key ideas and details, inference, overall reading comprehension skills that many of our students struggle with. Now, if you're someone who's like, oh my God, the reading comprehension can be really difficult for me, I highly recommend that you practice your reading. There is no silver bullet for this. You've got to get that muscle working, that reading comprehension muscle working, where you can move through the text relatively quickly with fluency and then answer comprehension questions and really retain that information. And the only way to do that is by practicing. Now, obviously, I have a study guide with, I believe it's 2 reading tests, I can't remember. And it's got a ton of passages and things like that, right? But let's say you've blown through this and you need more practice. Well, a really good way to find more reading comprehension practice is released ACTs and released SATs. They are going to be on the same reading level as this exam, and there are a lot of them online. So if you just Google released SAT tests, released ACT tests, typically College Board, which is what makes the SAT, and ACT, which is the company that makes ACT, release their tests, and you get practice tests out there, and you can grab those reading comprehension exams and practice them. Beyond that, I recommend articles. So if you have articles pop up on your Facebook feed or wherever you're getting your social media, rather than scrolling, click on it and read. Now, a lot of them require a subscription, but you can always find like your local newspaper and things like that that have articles for you. So read them, try to read them quickly, retain information, ask yourself questions back, and just get that reading comprehension muscle going. Now, the next section of the Praxis Core is the writing section, which is the 5-7-2-3. And the writing section has grammar and mechanics. So you're going to have sentences where you have to find the error, correct the error, things like that. You're going to have rhetorical questions where you might have like a paragraph and it might ask you something like, where should the author place this sentence? Or which sentence doesn't fit in the overall understanding of the passage? You're going to have those types of questions. Those are the grammar sections. And then you will have a writing section with 2 essays for the Praxis Core. Now, other tests, you might only have 1 essay. It just depends. But for the Praxis Core, you have 2 essays. The first one is an argumentative essay. They're going to give you some sort of statement, and you either agree or disagree with it and tell us why. And the second one is a source-based or informational essay, where you are given 2 articles, and you read through those articles, and then you write basically a summary of both using specific examples. Now, I have a ton of videos on the writing. You can go into my YouTube channel. I also have an online writing course, which I'll show you how to get that after this video is over. But I have tons of videos on how to attack that source-based essay and the argumentative essay, and I'll link them up here. So definitely check those out. And then finally, the math. The math can be complicated. You're going to have numbers and operations, which is everything from, just straight up numbers, percentages, fractions. You'll also have PEMDAS, proportions. You're going to be tested on algebra and geometry and probability and statistics. So a lot of people need to brush up on their math. Most people think the math is the hardest part of this exam because a lot of us are working and we're not doing those types of math problems day to day. And math tests tend to get people a little bit nervous, but it's not a big deal. If you just brush up on your skills, you can definitely pass the math. You're just going to need a little bit of practice and a little bit of time. I also have tons of math practice for you on my YouTube channel. Now, beyond that, I do have a live webinar, usually once a month or once every 2 months for this exam, where we go through a mini study guide and I walk you through all the sections. If the live is not available right now, if you're looking for it, there's always a recording, and we'll link that up in the description as well. That's like a long form course. I usually take about an hour to an hour and a half to break this entire thing down. So check the links in the description below, and I'll walk you through the entire course with more specificity. Now, of course, I'm going to promote my products because I believe that I have the best Praxis Core products for you. I have studied this test in and out, and we have developed a study guide and an online course that really, really helps you understand the concepts. It's not just about taking practice tests. You've got to understand where you're low and where you need to fix up those skills. And I help you do that in our programs. Let me show you where to get that information. Just hop over to KathleenJasper.com, and when you do, you can check out our study guides here under Praxis Core. Now, one thing you can do is buy the subtests separately. So let's say you've passed the reading and the writing and you just need some support in the math. You can just buy the math. Now, it is digital. When you buy from our website, it is a digital copy sent to you via email as soon as you purchase. But if you'd like the full book, you can go head over to Amazon. This button right here will take you out to Amazon. And when you do, you can check out our reviews and you can get the actual physical copy. I recommend buying it new because if you buy it used from Amazon, there will be writing in it. And a lot of people don't want that. They want a new book. So definitely check that out. Now, if you need a lot of support, perhaps in the math or the reading or the writing, you can go under online courses, test prep, and under the Praxis Core, you'll see we have a full online course, hours and hours of video. I break down each and every single question in the math, and it comes with the digital study guide. So our online course is complete prep. It's got everything. And you can buy this by subtest as well. If you just need the math or you just need the writing, you can buy just that. Now, if you need 2 or more sections of this book or the online course, I recommend buying the whole thing because it's more cost effective that way. If you're looking for some free stuff, totally get it. Check out my free webinars tab. If you scroll down, I have a recorded Praxis Core always available. It's a previously recorded live webinar where I take about an hour to an hour and a half and break down this exam. And so I highly recommend, if you want to start there and see if you like the way I teach and all of that, you can check that out, and we'll link that in the description. All right, so that is the Praxis Core in a nutshell. Remember, if you want free resources, ACT, SAT release tests are fantastic. Also, my YouTube channel has tons of videos for free, including the webinars that you can use to pass this exam. And if you want some more support, check out our brand new 3rd edition study guide and our online course. Thank you so much and have a great day.